All right, everyone, welcome back to Adult Acne with your host, Colin. That's me. Just kidding, this is Laughing to the Void podcast. I think Adult Acne would probably be an odd choice of a podcast name, unless it was like a dermatologist, a podcast about dermatology and or skincare. Then it would be kind of justified to be called Adult Acne with your host, fill in the blank. Anyway, I wrote some jokes. Would you like to hear them? Okay. I don't own any animals, but I think I'd like to get a dog. Right now, it's kind of too big of a responsibility for me to take on, and I think I need to work my way up of keeping things alive, like the complexity, until I get to a dog, until I can achieve a dog. I think if I started a dog, PETA would be kicking my door down after I forget to fill the food bowl for the fourth week in a row. And when I go to buy a fish, I never get past the part of buying the tank. I stare past the glass into the water and look at the vast assortment of rocks and shrubbery that fill the tank, and imagine a miniature version of myself crawling around, trying to get enough food to survive on that ocean floor. Then I'd find a crevice under a rock or an overhang and make that my own little personal cave, not letting any other creatures or crawlers in, and store all my valuables in there, like snail shells or the scales of the medley of fish that swim in the tank. Then one day, one of the massive animals outside of the tank decides to play hide and seek under the desk that the tank is placed on. Then they pull the tank off by the power cord, and all of my scales and shells are scattered as we free fall to the second ground, and the clear walls shatter. Then I gasp for air while these massive beings tower over me until I suck in my final breath. So my name is John Silverman, and I'm the tech support worker at Best Buy, and you're having issues with your laptop. Hi, my name is John. How can I help you today? Oh, it keeps crashing when you have too many tabs open? Let's take a look here. Wow, that is a lot of tabs. How to cut skin off. How to cut skin off with fork and knife. How to cut skin off with steak knife. WikiHow. How to cut someone's skin off and then wear it. How to sew. How to sew leather. How to sew leather, but the leather is skin you cut off someone. WikiHow tutorial easy. How to line up eyes on skin suit. Making eye holes on skin suit bigger. Making eye holes on skin suit smaller after cutting too big. Then there are 6 tabs open for beginner's sewing kits for Joanne Fabrics. Great selection. Average Best Buy employee IQ. People that have worn skin suits to stores, and directions to the nearest Best Buy. Well, now that we have all your tabs closed, I can take your laptop to the back and we'll do a hard reset on... Oh, I can't take it to the back? Oh, you're going to cut me up into 10,000 pieces and then scatter me across a field. Yeah, that makes sense. And that was John Silverman. Alright, so I have another character. Your name is Keanu Evergreen, and I am the person on the support line when you call your bank. Thank you for calling Chase Bank Support. My name is Arya. How can I help you today? You want to apply for a credit card. Before we go any further, can I get your email address so we can contact you in the future? Keanu.evergreen@gmail.com. So that's K as in Kabuki, I as in inveterate, A as in anachronism, N as in nefarious, U as in umbrage, dot as in dot, E as in enigmatic, V as in venial, E as in equanimity, G as in gesticulate, R as in reticent, E as in epitome, E as in esoteric, N as in nebulous, at as in at the beach, no, the squiggle, let me write that, G as in gyrate, O as in omniscient, O as in oxymoron, G as in grandiose, L as in loquacious. E as in entropy. Dot as in dot. C as in capricious. O as in ontology. M as in myriad. Okay, now we have to verify your identity, so can I get your middle name? Guinevere Elspeth. Very regal name. So is that G as in gambit? U as in ubiquitous? I as in imbroglio? N as in nonplussed? E as in effervescent? V as in vicarious? E as in ersatz? R as in resplendent? E as in euphorious? And then hyphen. That might be an issue going into our system, but I'll see what I can do. All right, E as in ephenema. L as in leitmotif. S as in sanguine. P as in pastiche. A as in algamate. T as in terse. H as in heterogeneous. Okay, well, that's about all I can do for you today, so I'll put you on hold with our credit card team and send them this information. Have a nice day. Goodbye. So that was you as Keanu Evergreen. No matter how much of a degenerate you feel, there's always someone doing worse than you. This is something I learned last Thursday after working on math for about 12 hours a day for 3 or 4 days in a row to hit my assignment and project deadlines. I ventured over to the grocery store to get myself a pastry of some kind to smooth over my sadness from the week. And from the perspective of the other store goers, I would say the situation is pretty evident of what's going on, as there are very few reasons why one buys only one piece of cake from the grocery store. And after I checked out, I went to throw away my receipts, and I noticed a handful of scratch-offs in the recycling, which says to me that some individual was probably vigorously scraping at these pieces of paper as they walked through the store. I'd like to imagine that person was going through something worse than I was to reach that level of desperation, but who really knows? No matter how bad you're doing, you're still not doing $5 scratch-offs as you walk through the grocery store. Do you ever ponder who's wearing the gaiters from Swamp People? They could have been forged into a Saint Laurent handbag toted by Kendall Jenner, or they could be stepping around as boots worn by an oil refinery CEO in Alabama. I'd love to know how many influential people are walking around adorning the gaiters of those Louisiana swamps, just frolicking the earth, unknowing of the tribulations of the bayou. That's capitalism, I suppose. Instead of using disposable cameras when you go out to take pictures, you should use one of those vintage 1910s cameras. The Kodak Brownie, I believe is what it's called. That would definitely set you apart from the crowd. Bring a 30-pound box and a 10-pound mahogany tripod into the club. People would want a picture and would have to stand there for 2 hours, and their smiles would melt into a grossly disgusted face, to the point where only their teeth show through their semi-open mouth, and the only muscles in their face working are their scrunched eyelids. And now you have a picture of 15 strangers that look like they're slowly melting. This is a haiku that I thought of while writing the previous joke in the blistering sun. Pale. Back of the knee sweat. Black shirt. Swamp-ass khakis. Sweaty feet. Burnt eyelids. Knee sock farmer's tan. Bloody forearm. Summer night axe murder. Scorched albino. AC bill. Pushing over bike rider. I think I have quite a knack for poems. Maybe if jokes don't work out, that's something I can pivot to. I've been thinking about writing some anti-jokes, or what my fans like to call all of them. So here are a few of them. An ex-member of the National Guard was charged for leaking classified military documents. At least that's what the tattletale on the playground told me. The UFC is known to have some of the most brain-damaged athletes in the history of sporting. But I would argue that the International Basketball Association of UFC wives gives them some competition, since athletes are generally physically abusive. Yeah, those definitely need some work, but I'm just going to keep plugging along on them until they make you laugh. So you're going to have to ride through the next few episodes of me telling those. Here are a few business ideas that I'm looking for investors for. Number 1, dodgeballs that aren't soft and made of foam, but glass terrariums. I think this was meant to raise the stakes of the modern game of dodgeball. Like, instead of getting pink eye, you'll get a half-inch deep cut from the glass and then an infection from the dirt in the terrarium. Second one is ZipRecruiter, but for child labor. I think this was meant to fix the shortage of electronics that are available. Like, there aren't enough small hands snapping the motherboards together anymore, so the companies need a way to find labor efficiently. Number 3 is Ben Shapiro PDF Reader. 4 is cake delivery service for people with depression. So that's like when you don't want to get up and go to the store to get your depression snack. Instead, you can just call up the delivery service to send it to you. Number 5, a new continent. I think this one's more of a conversation starter. I think I'm going to let someone else handle the logistics of this one. If you want to take this idea off my hands, I'm perfectly fine with that. Number 6, a branch of Christianity that worships Allah and Muhammad instead of Jesus and God. I think it would be pretty groundbreaking because the Christians have been worshiping the same couple people for thousands of years at this point. So I think it'd be good to mix it up. So if you're interested in investing in any of these ideas, my business email is in my bio, so you can go check that out. And if you want to send any money, just send your routing information and I'll make it happen. I don't want to get old. I enjoy having the physical freedom of my early 20s, but I think I'm starting to feel some aging. Like the other day, I ate 3/4 of a pizza and it made me feel like I had a stroke. Like my joints ached and I felt lethargic for the whole day. And in that moment, laying on my bed naked with the air conditioning blowing on my overheated body, I finally grasped my mortality. I thought it would be in a near-fatal car accident that made me realize that I'm getting old, but it ended up being a frozen deep dish pizza. Now we have some questions from the viewers. The first one is about my skincare routine. So in the morning when I shower, I use a sulfuric medicated cleanser. And then when I get out of the shower, I use a salicylic acid and Aveeno moisturizer. Then before I go to bed, I unstrap the Velcro in the back and peel the rest of it off. Then I wash my face with a gentle cleanser and warm water to open up my pores. Then a mineral scrub to exfoliate and regenerate a new layer of skin for the morning. I moisturize again with Aveeno, and then I hang up my skin in front of my air conditioner to cool it off during the night. So when I slip it back on, it's nice and cool in the morning. Another question from the viewer. Is it bad instead of sleeping, I spend every night counting the blades of grass on my lawn to make sure no one has been stealing them? My name is Jared, and I'm 32 years old. Recently, I've been noticing patches of grass missing while mowing the lawn, and it looks like they've been ripped out from the stem. After this started happening a couple of weeks ago, I spend each night counting the blades of grass on my lawn to find if any disappear during the day when I go to work. I mark each of the blades with a marker to avoid overcounting, and then run the sprinkler after I get my final tally to wash it off. Last Saturday, I counted 7,174,004 blades, but just this morning I counted 6,844,539. What should I do? My family is concerned that I'm not sleeping enough, but I think I'm doing just fine. I think you should keep counting. Maybe set up a trap or alarm system to scare them off if they try to take your grass. Maybe even count twice a day so you have more data to analyze the rate at which the grass is being stolen. Another fan question. What are your biggest strengths? Deadlift, juggling, math sometimes, clipping my nails, getting good gas mileage. I think that's a pretty comprehensive strength list. Now for everyone's favorite segment, the Would You Rather segment. Would you rather be an Egyptian serf in 2500 BC tasked with building the Great Sphinx of Giza? Your particular job is to dig out the horseshoe-shaped quarry in the Giza Plateau. You work 6 days a week, 12 hours per day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You are provided with a shovel made of iron with a weight of 10 kilograms or about 22 pounds. For comparison, the modern shovel is about 3.5 kilograms or 6 pounds. You work with about 100 other laborers until the quarry is finished, and it's estimated to take about 4 months. You are fed a diet of sheep, goats, cattle, dates, pomegranates, and an unlimited supply of water. There are 3 meals a day. The workers divvy up the food themselves, so you will be ostracized if you take too large of a portion. It is a toxic work environment due to the heat and pressure of finishing the project. There are regularly verbal and sometimes physical disputes over whose shovel is whose, where to put the pile of sand, and Ali taking all of the dates at lunch. You try to stay out of the drama, but grow increasingly agitated with your coworkers when they spill your sand pile back into your hole 2 days in a row, so you're constantly on edge. 1 month in, you come down with a severe lower back strain from the intense labor, but cannot stop since you have to keep working to eat, and the supervisor will have you executed if they see you slacking. This results in permanent muscle torsion and tearing in your back, and you are bedridden until your death. When you finish, you are sent back to your village to farm grain for your master. If you refuse to work, you are executed by big limestone blocks smashing your skull, or be a fully grown 5'4" male. For me, I think I would take building the Great Sphinx because at least I know that I've contributed to greatness in that situation. Sorry for the 5'4" people, but you're going to have to take the L on this one. Now for the second and final Would You Rather of the episode. Would you rather be cooked in a green egg smoker at 150 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 minutes, then laid out in the 100-degree sun with UV index of 9 for 2 hours with no water? Assume you're fully naked. Assume you acquire second-degree sunburns on all parts of your body. Your whole body gets burned since you are flipped by a group of men cloaked in green 3 times to get an even burn. You are subject to moderate to severe dehydration, making it necessary for you to go to the hospital immediately after this procedure. You can either wait 25 minutes for an ambulance to arrive since it's rush hour, or sit in the back of an Uber Toyota Prius where the driver attempts conversation with you for the duration of the trip, and the drive is 20 minutes. You're diagnosed with sun poisoning at the hospital. Symptoms include headache, nausea, severe skin blisters/inflammation, and fever. The fever is only 101 degrees Fahrenheit. After getting IVs and drinking at the hospital for 2 days, you are sent home to treat the wounds yourself. For the duration of the healing process, you are only allowed 2 ounces of aloe vera gel per day to cover your whole body. You must wear 100% wool clothing of your choice. Crew-cut socks and underwear are mandatory. And at some point within the first week of healing, you are pelted with a variety of airsoft guns for 6 minutes by an unruly group of preteens. Or drink silver-tainted water from age 15 until death. The cause is a broken water filter in your place of residence that releases silver into the water stream at a constant rate. The tap water wherever you live has this issue. Assume that your Brita and/or water filter cannot remove the silver. You cannot bring yourself to drink bottled water because you feel sympathy for the squid and jellyfish being killed by the ocean plastics that you throw in the trash. You slowly develop argyria at about the 10-year mark, and are fully Smurf blue by 15 years. Your liver and kidney each fail, so you have to get a transplant. While you wait for each transplant, you are bedridden in the hospital, living off of machines that act as artificial organs. Suppose the waiting time for each organ is uniformly distributed between 30 days and 18 months. Assume the organ failures have no overlap. In the hospital, the nurses and staff are not attentive, so it takes at least 20 minutes before emptying your bedpan and/or soiled pants. For breakfast, you have dried Cheerios, room temperature milk, and pulpy orange juice. For lunch and dinner, you have 1.5 overcooked unseasoned chicken breast, 1 cup of brown rice, a fistful of lima beans, and water. And the fistful depends on the hand size of the on-duty nurse. Every 4 years that you're alive after you pass 30, you must do a half-hour feature on the Lily Singh talk show reboot in which you are interviewed on your condition and called a Smurf repeatedly and then contemplate your existence for a minimum of 1 week after every shoot. I think I would drink the silver water because I want my skin to be blue. At least I wouldn't be porcelain white as I usually am, so I think that might be an upgrade for me. Alright, so now it's the final segment, the TikTok of the Week segment, where I show you a TikTok that made me chuckle and or breathe out of my nose more than I usually do. Alright, so here's the first one. I don't believe there's any audio on this, by the way. I think I would have liked to see what happened to the fish after it was hit by the roller coaster. Like, did it explode? Did it just bounce off and fall onto, like, the next track? Did that guy get tased and then arrested? There are a lot of unanswered questions with this video, which is partially why I like it, because it leaves room for the imagination. This next one is one of those slideshow TikToks. I'll just put the 2 pictures up on the screen. The first one is a fan art I drew of Dobby dying in a glue trap. What does it meme? Interpretation. This meme is sociopathic. Not only does the artist kill this beloved magical elf, they reduce him to an insect, dragging him beneath contempt and into the realm of irrelevance. Not only is Dobby dead, he never lived. This piece dares you to care. This piece is the unholy spawn of a lifetime of pointless suffering. This piece grabs you by the back of the skull, dangles you dangles you over your yawning void while whispering into your ear, nothing matters. Themes, weakness, complexity, very high. I appreciate how majestic that the maker of this TikTok put this meme. I think it very accurately encapsulates what the designer of this Dobby glue trap was trying to convey, and I think they really nailed it on the head. This did make me laugh quite a bit when I saw it for the first time. Yeah, I think that's about it for this week's episode. Again, thank you for watching. Go follow my socials. They're linked on my page. Go follow my TikTok, Colin Albs, I believe it is, just COLINALBS. TikTok, Instagram, all that shit. If you enjoy, like and subscribe. I'm in the process of writing videos, as it usually is. I'll have something out like next few weeks, most likely. Yeah, look out for that. And once again, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
She know what she need, she best.